Vaius sat against a single aged tree nestled within a massive valley, just hours away from the small town he and his friend went to investigate. Surrounded by the sounds of serene nature and the wind lightly flapping the pages of his open tome, Vaius adjusted his posture and grimaced, his back sore from remaining still. The large tiefling Daemon Vaius rose from the ground slowly, standing up just under 6.5 feet tall. His blue skin absorbed the warmth of the morning sun. His silk robes flapped in the wind, letting a cool breeze massage and relax him as he glared at his equally sizable greatsword embedded in the soft, sweeping grass dirt not far from him. Stretching his arms and back, he felt the tug of a tree limb that had become entangled in his sweeping horns. A glimmering beam of light bouncing off shining armor caught his eye in the distance as he carefully wrestled his horn from the tree, indicating the arrival of his friend. Vaius turned around and began packing his things up, beginning with his greatsword, listening for the familiar dulled clinking of a knight's greaves against the earthen soil. With almost everything packed and ready, Vaius turned to greet his friend.
Hail, Alabaster. What information have you gathered about our contract? Were the townsfolk very helpful?
Vaius asked, his thick accent betraying his fiendish mother tongue, almost glowing in the sunlight as he walked to the Daemon's resting grounds. Alabaster clanked softly as he slowed his approach in his ornate full-plate armor.
Hail, Vaius!
The knight quickly bowed down before the Daemon. The sound of armor shifting forward filled the empty green valley with an echoing clunk. The knight rose swiftly, adjusting his armor back onto his very thin frame, pulling at a red sash that flowed from beneath his breastplate, and standing upright with a soldier's posture.
It seems we were right about this possibly being a pact of evil, my friend. The sellsword's contract had made it out that the dragon terrorizing the townsfolk was also the one practicing necromancy. I believe this to be the work of a dread necromancer, profiting off a young and likely gullible dragon.
A young dragon? Are you sure?
Vaius questioned, stroking his beard with his brow raised.
Aye. The dragon was often described as reckless by the townsfolk, and with a smaller stature. The undead that did manage to find their way to the town were dispatched with little effort. We both know that a dragon's might would be more than a match for a small town's guards.
Alabaster continued, as he began surveying the area where Vaius had awaited his arrival.
You didn't even try practicing your swordsmanship as I had shown you earlier, did you? How do you even do that? Sitting in one spot, reading a book for hours on end.
Alabaster berated Vaius as he pointed to the undisturbed grass surrounding them.
Any clues to the whereabouts of this dragon and proposed necromancer, then?
Vaius asked, clearly ignoring the knight's question. With a quick sigh, Alabaster crossed his arms with another clank of armor.
Well, a few guardsmen had recognized the robes and clothes the undead wore as garbs of the family that founded the town many years ago. Most of the family is now perished and have been buried in a tomb that collapsed on the mountainside just northwest of town. I propose we start there and see what happens.
Alabaster shrugged excitedly, loving the thought of cave spelunking.
Great work, then. And the townsfolk, did they seem accepting?
I would have to say they are not Daemon friendly, so I say I take my armor off, and you parade me through the streets as we cut through to the tomb. Give the sheltered fools a real show.
Alabaster chuckled as he began taking his fine helmet off, revealing the ghostly image of his true nature. Beneath his masterfully crafted helmet, a skeletal visage greeted Vaius' gaze. The undead knight looked around and inside his breastplate, reaching his gauntlet inside and adjusting the many layers of red sheets stuffed inside to keep his armor more snugly donned.
I don't think the townsfolk need any more stress in their lives, Alabaster. Though that just seems like good fun. Save the mischief for a better time.
You still owe me, you know, for watching that horrid orc ceremony back in the city of Blah.
It's Blarg.
Vaius corrected, then continued.
Another time. On folk who've been less terrorized by dragons and zombies. Now shall we be on our way?
Vaius gestured toward a mountain in the distance, obscured by wispy clouds that littered the horizon. Alabaster put his helmet back on, hiding the skull under the ornate Morion helm and faceplate before fastening leather straps to secure it in place.
You really are too kind to the ignorant, my friend.
Alabaster gestured a tear rolling down his faceplate with his armored finger.
And you're a fool to believe that men will change so easily.
Vaius replied, turning to walk towards their destination.
Night and Daemon.